I don't know how to explain this without my heart racing. After everything that happened at this concert, I honestly feel like Jikook broke our hearts again in the most beautiful way possible. From the moment Jungkook realized Jimin was sick and didn't stop taking care of him for a single second on stage. We also have to talk about the exact moment Jimin saw the "don't get sick" sign, smiled, and blew a kiss that left everyone emotionally devastated. But that wasn't all, because Jungkook's reaction when he looked at Jimin during soundcheck in Las Vegas was too intense to ignore. Furthermore, Jimin's new photo and those spontaneous smiles between them have much more meaning than they seem. Join me until the end, because today we're going to break down all these things, and I assure you, you'll never see Jikook the same way again. Everyone saw what happened at the concert when Jungkook learned that Jimin had a cold. From the very beginning, Jungkook stayed by Jimin's side, supporting him with his arm around Jimin's shoulders. This is a clear sign of how much he cares about Jimin's well-being, as he didn't leave his side for a single moment while they were performing in front of everyone, demonstrating that his priority is always to be there to protect him when he's not feeling well. Jimin, noticing Jungkook's gesture, switched the microphone to his other hand so he could put his arm around Jungkook's waist. It was a very clear moment where they reached out to each other, supporting one another as the concert continued. The way Jikook always looks out for each other while working touches the hearts of those who watch them, because it confirms that their bond is real and that they care for each other no matter where they are. Seeing Jikook like this is a little painful, because it makes us realize how much they care for each other when one of them is sick. It's not just work, it's how they treat each other as a couple, always staying close and attentive to each other's health. That constant care they have for one another is the greatest proof that they're there to help and protect each other, making the concert even more special for all of us. As the concert progressed, a fan held up a sign that read "Jimin, don't get sick," and Jimin saw it perfectly. As soon as Jimin read the message on the sign, he smiled sincerely and blew a kiss to that person as a thank you for their concern. This gesture demonstrates the close connection Jimin has with his fans, who are always attentive to how he's feeling and ask him to take care of himself, something that makes him feel very good. It's important to understand that it's not just Jungkook who's concerned about Jimin's health, nor is it just the group BTS. There's a huge multitude of people who are with Jimin, recognizing the big and beautiful heart he has. All these people show him their affection through details like that sign, letting Jimin know that he's never alone and that he has the support of many people who always want to see him well and healthy. From here, all of us who follow Jikook wish Jimin a speedy recovery and hope he doesn't get sick again. His fans support him a lot and we love him very much, which is why we want him to recover soon so we can see him well again. All the love Jimin receives from his partner and his huge fan base is what helps him keep going, and we will continue to be here supporting him with respect. On the fourth day of soundcheck in Las Vegas, a very clear moment occurred between Jungkook and Jimin. We were watching Jungkook as he listened to Jimin speak through the screen, and very naturally, he began to nod gently. It was such a simple and tender reaction that it seemed as if Jungkook were saying yes to Jimin, confirming that everything his bandmates said was important to him. It's remarkable how everything changes when Jimin speaks, because we know that for Jungkook, each of his words has great significance. He looks at him intently and doesn't hesitate to show his support with that nod, making it clear that he values what Jimin says from the bottom of his heart. It's a moment where nothing needs to be said, because his gesture explains everything so directly. For us, who are always following Jikook, seeing this reaction is understanding how close they are. Jungkook doesn't just listen to Jimin, he connects with him even though they're through a screen. It's a real example of how much they appreciate each other and how Jungkook is always attentive to every detail of what Jimin expresses, keeping that moment as something very special between the two of them. On this last day of the concert, we didn't see Jikook sitting together as usual, since they were seated separately, but we could still see the effort they both made to try to be close. The difference when they're not together is very clear, because they both look much more serious. When they're apart, the atmosphere between them changes completely, and that's noticeable on stage. We know that when they're together, the situation is different because we always see them smiling, touching each other, and playing those little games that show how happy they are side by side. That joy they show when they're together is something we, as Jikook fans, enjoy so much, and that's why when they're separated, the lack of that natural connection they have is felt so keenly. Even though they couldn't be together the whole time as they wanted, we had many sweet moments where we saw Jungkook looking out for Jimin while they were on stage. It was clear to see how, regardless of the distance, Jungkook was always attentive to Jimin throughout the performance. It is their way of showing that their care and attention are always present, regardless of the circumstances or the place where they happen to be. Jimin recently updated his Instagram stories and shared a photo of himself with his hairstyle in neat braids. It's an incredibly adorable and cute detail that, upon seeing it for the first time, fills all of us who follow his content daily with affection. Although it's just a simple change in his style, the feeling this image conveys is so powerful that it warms our hearts the moment we open the app to see what's new. This photo is truly a very special gift that Jimin wanted to give to all of us who follow him. Seeing him with his hair like this is absolutely beautiful, and we love that he feels comfortable sharing these personal moments on his social media. It's a small gesture that makes a difference in how we feel when we see it, as it projects an image full of freshness and that unique essence that only he possesses and that we always love to appreciate. Watching this story, we're left with an immediate feeling of peace, warmth, and a love that shines through in every detail. It's incredible how just by looking at a picture, we already feel so much better and more connected to him. Jimin gave us this beautiful glimpse of his new hairstyle, and we appreciate it so much because every update he shares is a source of joy. It's a very simple, yet powerful way for him to maintain that connection with us and show us how great he is through his personal style. Have you noticed how natural and spontaneous Jimin and Jungkook's smiles look when they're next to each other? It happens constantly, as if they can't help but smile at each other at any moment, even when they're on stage in front of thousands of people. We've seen those beautiful smiles appear countless times when they're together, so genuinely that it seems like they're not even aware they're doing it. It's an automatic reaction born from the joy of sharing the same space. Those quick glances, those small smiles, and that calm, comfortable feeling they exude create a gentle harmony that we can all easily perceive. When they're together, there's a special calm, as if each other's presence is all they need to feel good. It's clear they enjoy being close, and that tranquility is what makes their behavior so fluid and effortless, demonstrating that their connection is something real that transcends any performance or event they participate in. When they're side by side, their smiles seem to shine even brighter, as if the energy between them naturally lightens simultaneously. That light they project is the result of the trust they have in each other and how happy they are in each other's company. For all of us who observe their every move, seeing this connection is a clear sign of how much they care for one another and how their relationship allows them to feel light and authentic, making every moment they spend together truly special. It's for this very reason that when we see them together, we feel the peace they transmit through their simple gestures. There's no need for words to understand that what happens between Jimin and Jungkook is something unique, because their faces tell the whole story without them having to say a single word. The way they care for and seek each other out is something that always stays with us, and by observing these small signs, it becomes clear that their happiness is the most important thing they prioritize when they're sharing the stage in front of the whole world. The combination of Jimin's t-shirt with his new braided hairstyle creates a style that looks completely natural and unique to him. Everything about his current look is so personal and simple that it's impossible not to instantly warm your heart. What stands out most is his t-shirt. It seems like that garment belongs only to him and that no one else could wear it with the same confidence or presence. The moment Jimin decides to put it on, clothing ceases to be something ordinary and transforms into something much more valuable, as it perfectly complements his energy and personality. His braids move gently with his every movement, adding a detail that makes him look even more endearing on camera. At the same time, the color and style of his t-shirt subtly complement the calm and warm aura he always projects. There's nothing in his image that seems out of place or that appears to be there simply out of obligation. On the contrary, everything blends seamlessly with him, as if his clothes were created specifically to exist alongside his light and personality. It's fascinating to observe how Jimin manages to make simple details like a hairstyle or a t-shirt have such a positive impact on those of us who watch him. This way of being and dressing is what makes him feel so close to his fans, because he doesn't try to be someone he's not, but rather stays true to his personal style at all times. His way of carrying himself shows us that you don't need a complex production to stand out, since his very essence is what makes everything he wears special and worthy of admiration. For all of us who follow Jimin, seeing these moments is further proof of why his image and his way of being in the world bring us so much peace. The naturalness with which he moves, along with those small details of his braids and his clothing, create a harmony that is noticeable at first glance and makes us feel wonderful. It is a reflection of his well-being and how comfortable he feels with himself, something we deeply value because it allows us to continue connecting with his most authentic and human side in each of his appearances. Observe this moment closely. Jungkook turns his head slightly, and in that brief instant, something seemingly ordinary silently changes the entire atmosphere. Jimin approaches, walking his own way, moving with such naturalness and discretion that he seems to blend seamlessly into the flow of the situation. It's such a fluid movement that, if you're not paying attention, you might miss it, but for those of us who follow Jikook, it's a clear sign of how attentive they are to each other at all times. Jungkook starts walking, but suddenly stops midway. He doesn't take a step back or forward, he simply remains there, in absolute pause, as if the world itself were asking him to stop and wait. It's clear that this pause isn't accidental, but a conscious decision on his part to mark time in his journey. It's a gesture of patience that shows us how he chooses to adjust his pace based entirely on Jimin's presence. Then, something that seems completely natural happens. Jungkook allows Jimin to move forward and take the lead. It's a small detail, but it reveals a lot about how they function when they're together. By letting Jimin take the lead, Jungkook demonstrates that his priority is to accompany him and give him his space, always careful not to get in his way. These kinds of actions confirm how well they know each other and how, without needing to speak, they know exactly how to coordinate to always be close to one another. For all of us who are fans of this couple, seeing Jungkook stop and wait for Jimin to pass is a reminder of the comfort and respect that exists between them. It's not a forced or planned gesture to be seen, but a pure reaction that stems from the way they treat each other every day. It's these kinds of moments that make us understand that, in their relationship, every detail counts and that this way of looking out for each other is simply their natural way of showing affection in any situation.